And we forgot an introduction. The mayor from Lawndale, Robert Pullen Miles, our friend is here. Give a shout out. So Lawndale's in the house. So I'm gonna go ahead and okay, with a loud Inglewood welcome, let's bring up Miss Becky G. So this is the beautiful Becky G, and I'm just going to read the commendation, Becky. So it says, it is with great pride and pleasure that the mayor and council members of the city of Inglewood recognize 2015 Billboard Latin Music nominated Artist of the Year and Radio Disney Music Awards Best New Artist Becky G for her outstanding musical contributions. Inglewood's homegrown celebrity who taught herself how to play the guitar at age 13 personifies South LA's demographic shift from African American to Latino. Its cultural evolution from Boys in the Hood to Chicas Next Door. Becky is an avatar of a new LA urban sound. Young, female, Latina, bilingual, and fiercely aspirational. Thank you for touching the souls of people all over the world through your gift of music. Now, therefore, be it known that the mayor and council members of the city of Inglewood, California, do hereby salute Becky G for her exceptional musical contributions. Here you go, Becky. Alex Padilla has another award. He'll be saying a couple words as well.
Wow, what an exciting day here in Inglewood! All right! Well, today we're not only celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month here in the beautiful city, but it's an opportunity to recognize somebody that did not forget where they came from, their roots. Somebody that's come back to say, you know what? I remember Inglewood. I remember running around these streets, going to school here, growing up with my familia. And I'm gonna come back and recognize and give thanks for everything that Inglewood did to her, that made her the person that she is. So it's with pleasure and with an honor that I'm presenting on behalf of the city this plaque that reads, the City of Inglewood salutes Becky G. For your commitment and outstanding service to the Inglewood community. We are proud to call you one of our own. So let's give it up for Becky G.
And one more thing, you guys, look here. Now, you know, while we waited for Becky to come back to us, you know, the forum opened again, right? The Los Angeles Rams came back, right? But now, we got a homegrown talent come back to us. So Becky, welcome home.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. ¿Cómo están? I think you guys can be a little louder than that. ¿Cómo están? This is a tremendous honor for me, honestly. I mean, it's better than a Grammy. I say that from the bottom of my heart. To be in front of my raza, in front of my people, the people that I love so much, I would not be where I am today without you guys. I took a minute to write something because I did not want to forget, to kind of share my story, so bear with me because it's kind of long. Here it goes. And it is Hispanic Heritage Month, so let's make some noise for that. Everyone has their own version of the American dream. People come from all over the world to live in the land of the free. For my Mexican grandparents, the American dream began with the need for a better life, better education, and better job opportunities for their loved ones. For some, like my grandpa Miguel, it also meant leaving behind his family to secure a life for his home and his own. For all four of my grandparents, who are all living, healthy, and present in our lives, by the way, their version of the American dream became a reality. I am blessed to have the time I spend with them to learn about their stories of when they came to this country. They have been fortunate enough to see all of their own children get married and have children of their own. As these next generations grow up, the American dream continues to evolve into even bigger dreams. Thanks to my abuelitos for being so brave, coming to this country with only the clothes on their backs and not much money in their pockets, we, the next generations, can now follow our own dreams. And I want to share with you the story of my American dream. At 8 p.m. Sunday night, March 2nd, 1997, I, Rebecca Marie Gomez, was born at Daniel Freeman Memorial Hospital right across the street from Inglewood Cemetery. Inglewood! My parents, Francisco and Alejandra, were just two newly wedded high school sweethearts beginning their family at the young ages of 19 and 18 years old. As time went by, our family only grew bigger. We're Latin, what can I say? By the time I was 5 years old, there were 6 of us in total. My parents, my brother Frankie and Alejandro, my brothers Frankie and Alejandro, my sister Stefania, and growing up in a big family was the biggest blessing, and I can't imagine it any other way. There's so many things I remember growing up, and all of it took place here in the city of Inglewood. I remember growing up, sorry, that happens when you have a lot of words on a piece of paper. I remember attending Oak Street Elementary with my brother Frankie, which, by the way, shout out to my favorite kindergarten teacher, Miss Julie. Woo! I also remember being a part of the after-school Ballet Folklorico dance team and performing on what was my very first stage at Oak Street Elementary at the morning assemblies. I also can't forget the pleasure of playing translator for some of my fellow students who couldn't even speak English. One of my favorite and most vivid memories is every day after school, we'd walk with my abuelita to the Kelso market. When you walked in, you could smell the chicharrones. We would buy our bag of hot Cheetos and my grandma would buy her jamon. And when we'd get home, you know it was time for lunch number 2 because Latin grandmas love to keep us well fed, am I right? Usually tortas and fideo were on the menu. Summers here in Inglewood were spent with my cousins and siblings, running around in the front yard of my papis with the water sprinklers. Although we didn't have a luxurious pool in the backyard, the water slides from Kmart did just fine. As I got older, things continued to change, and eventually my parents moved us out of the wood. We were living in Riverside, California briefly for about 2 years when the economy suddenly began to fall. One moment we were fine, and the next we were losing our home bill by bill. We were tapped out of our family savings. We got to a place where we knew we could no longer be living in fear waiting for a man to put a 30-day notice at our door. We sat down as a family and made the decision to leave. And I'll never forget what my parents told us that day. They said, it's not the house that makes the home, it's the people in it. They are home. Which reminded me of our unity, how we always stick together, especially as Latinos. At a young age, I learned that even when you fall, you've got to get back up. At 9 years old, we were living in my grandparents' garage here in Inglewood. And at that age, I was old enough to understand what was going on, but too young to actually do something about it. I learned that my grandparents came here and made something out of nothing. I found myself following their steps of bravery. Then and there was when that drive and ambition that was instilled in me activated. I knew that I had nothing and that we needed something. Never did I let my age, size, living in financial situation, or the color of my skin stop me from following my dreams and getting my family out of where we were. Growing up Mexican, our family was huge, and because there were so many of us, let me tell you, it was hard to get people's attention in my house. So the only way to get attention was to put on talent shows in the living room. Because of that passion that I had for entertaining, I decided to pursue it at a professional level. I sat down with my parents in our garage and placed a contract on their laps, and I asked that although we weren't in the best financial situation, that they give me 6 months to try it out. I Googled the top 10 child agencies, made a couple calls and see what I needed to do to move forward. And although it seemed really far, it wasn't impossible. If in those 6 months nothing happened, I promised my parents I would never bother them again. And if something did begin, then we could go from there. I told them I was down for negotiation. Yes, a 9-year-old negotiating. Talk about a midlife crisis. My parents, being the amazing parents that they are, supported me. If we're being completely honest, I had no idea what I was doing, let alone did I know what I was getting myself into. But I never saw it not working out. I knew that every step was going to push me closer. Some steps were a little right and others a little left, but they were always moving forward. I was 11 years old and working, traveling, on set, balancing schoolwork, taking meetings, going to auditions, the whole 9 yards. I loved every second of it, but what I loved the most was the paycheck. Now, before you assume the number, let me tell you, it's not what you were thinking. My first paycheck was $230. Every paycheck went to groceries, school supplies, And of course, gas money, because I had my mom commuting from Inglewood to the Valley 6 days out of the week. And I don't know if you know any 11-year-olds that can drive themselves to work, so shout out to my mama. There was no better feeling than being able to contribute to providing for my family. With many sacrifices that we made, little by little we were getting somewhere, making strides and slowly getting back on our feet. Every step and decision was always talked about with my parents. They taught me to never make money-motivated decisions, that not every opportunity was going to be the right opportunity. And as I worked on my craft and discovered more and more about my passions in entertaining, I started rapping, writing my own songs, and hustling more and more. When I was 14 years old, I decided to post covers on YouTube. Little did I know, one of those covers would completely change my life. I did a cover of Frank Ocean's Novocaine. I made a cover of Bruno Mars and Eminem's song Lighters. And the one that changed the game was my cover of Jay-Z and Kanye's song Otis. I rapped 30 bars straight and shot a one-take music video on what I call a bro budget. And when I say bro budget, that's not even low budget. That's like, yo bro, I ain't got no money. But if you're in, I'm in, let's make something happen. So, with my cousins and a couple things to smash from my grandpa's garage, we made it work. A couple days after, we got news that a record label was very interested in taking a meeting with me. After one meeting, many other record labels wanted me to take a seat in their office. I took a couple trips to New York, had a couple meetings in LA, and then made my decision. I know I was only 14, but I was no child. By then, I already felt like an adult. I wasn't going to let someone buy me with money. So many times, I felt as if they thought they could get me with the fancy things because I was the little Mexican girl who lived in a garage. But I knew I was more than that. I didn't want someone to buy me with money, I wanted to work for it. I wanted someone who saw something in me, beyond my story, and saw the talent. I wanted to sign to someone who believed in me, who saw some things and who saw the same things I saw for myself, someone who would be helping me bring opportunities and help me grow. And when I made my decision and signed my first record deal, that will forever be one of the best days of my life because it was a new chapter and a new beginning for my family. Instead of rushing to plan a quinceañera, I saved my money when I turned 15 because I knew my family needed it. I began working in the studio with incredible producers and songwriters and getting to collaborate and learn from artists who I idolized growing up. People like Pitbull, will.i.am, and my idol Jennifer Lopez. Hey, J-Lo! Little did I know that even those experiences would be the beginning of friendships and many other collaborations. I worked in the studio Monday through Friday, writing, singing, rapping, discovering more and more about myself. And one day I decided, although I'm an officially signed artist to a record label, I want to keep it real. I want to take it back to my roots and reintroduce myself to the public in a way that seemed to work the first time, by making a cover. I sat down and thought really hard of what song would be the perfect song to remake, and it hit me. Becky from the Block. J-Lo, a strong Latina who influenced not only me, but every woman in my family, played a big part in my passion for music. In her original version, Jenny from the Block, she sings from her perspective of what it's like to already be on the top, to not be fooled by the huge diamond rocks that she got. The song was made from the perspective of what it's like to have already reached fame. I, who did not have not one rock to fool anyone, wanted to remake from my perspective. A vow to my fans, family, and community that even when I make it to what people call the big time, I will always be the same girl. A vow to still walk to the Kelso Market even though I get to walk them red carpets. To still hit up Randy's Donuts, which by the way, I don't think my Power Ranger, trainers and producers like the sound of that, but it's Randy's Donuts. Sorry, no exceptions. That promise is being kept. Things have definitely been hard and the journey hasn't been easy, but it all led up to this very moment. Today I don't stand before you as Becky G. Today I stand in front of you as Becky from the Block. The same proud Mexican American who had a dream and made it happen with the support from her family, passion for music, and the fire that we carry as Latinos. I might not speak Spanish perfectly, but I honor my grandparents and the culture in many ways. My dream was always to be an entertainer and entrepreneur, to travel and share my passion with the world, to make something of myself for my family. I wanted to make my grandparents proud. Now, when I walk onto a stage, onto a set, and even sit down to do an interview, I think of them, because I know they're watching. To have their support means the world, because if it weren't for their bravery, I would not be standing here today. Quote, you don't look Latina, or quote, you don't even speak Spanish. These are the remarks that us second and third generation born American Latinos often hear. But the truth is, the lack of language knowledge does not lessen the Latin blood running through our veins and the stories that our last names carry. There is no look to the passion we carry. Although my Spanish is flawed and I didn't grow up in Mexico, I take pride in my roots. My family's history and the fact that all the traditions and morals passed down have shaped me to who I am today is what it means to be second generation born Mexican American. Thank you for letting me share my American dream with you all, and thank you to the city of Inglewood for making me and having me here today. It's truly an honor. I love you guys.
Give it up for Becky G. Let me tell you, she gets to walk around the world, and every time she says she's from Inglewood, it helps us. It helps us because she is such an intelligent and beautiful woman succeeding. So give it up for Becky G. Becky G, this is your home. You come back whenever you want. Mayor.
And what does that say about those Inglewood schools? Did you hear her? All right. All right. Anyway, everybody have a good time and thanks for coming out. We want everybody to stand there right now because we want to take a picture with this crowd as a backdrop, all right? So you guys, come on off.
Everybody smile. Smile, guys.
There we go. All right, everybody in the background, wave your hands. Wave your hands so they can all see you back there. Make that a great picture. Wave your hands in the back. Show them how Inglewood does it. Inglewood is in the house. Give it up for Becky G, everybody. Come on. Show her how much we love this Inglewood. Inglewood and Ingle could. Ingle did. All right, don't go anywhere, everybody. Enjoy a little bit of music because coming up next, we've got another group coming up next here in a minute. Make sure you go over and vote on the car show. We need to pick a winner by 3 o'clock, so please make sure that you pick your favorite car so that we know which car should win. Head over to the car show and pick the car. Hit our vendors. Make sure you hit all